If you are a fan of Mick Schumacher, well, this video is here for you. Alrighty here. So next year in Formula One, we're going to go from 10 to 11 teams, and that means there's going to be 2 more rides available. And you got Cadillac, and we all know who's going to be at least one of the 2 drivers for the team next year. It's going to be the young Mexican driver of Sergio Perez. Sergio Perez is taking a year away from the sport after departing from Red Bull back in December. He is not doing any tests or reserve rides for any of the teams, and he's just getting away from the sport for the time being. He's going to come back next year for Cadillac. Yes, he has held talks with Haas, Alpine, and Audi, but I believe this is just baiting Cadillac just to pay him more. I honestly think so. Alpine is probably the most impressive one because the Mercedes backing next year, and how Alpine, I know a lot of people are going to say, wow, what are you thinking when you say this? But Alpine's going to be in the championship mix next year, and that's why it's an impressive offer. But yeah, I think he's going to go to Cadillac after all. But who's going to be alongside him? A couple of weeks ago, we heard some names like Frederick Vesti having conversations with the team. What the hell has he done? Let's just be real here. He was mediocre in Formula 2, so why give him a Formula 1 ride? It makes absolutely no sense. I'm just being real here. You got Valtteri Bottas, a multiple-time Grand Prix race winner, and a current test and reserve driver for Mercedes, Williams, and McLaren. Very impressive there, and he is definitely someone to keep an eye on. You got Colton Herta from the IndyCar side of things. Colton Herta, I'm going to be real when I say this. I'm an American. I would love to see another American on the Formula One grid, but Colton Herta is not your guy. He is very inconsistent right now in IndyCar, and I just don't see him doing well in Formula One. So you could take him out the running. Yeah, Zhou Guanyu, he had his moment where he was being mentioned a lot by the media. I think that came and gone like he did for Haas last year, because if y'all remember really well, during the Miami Grand Prix race weekend in 2024, there were rumors that Zhou Guanyu was nearing a deal with Haas for the 25 season. Obviously, he's not on the grid right now. That fell through. So Zhou Guanyu rumors, I kind of ignored them, but I will look at them though. Then you got some pretty good drivers also. You got Felipe Drugovich, reserve driver for Aston Martin, a past Formula 2 champion. He did not get a ride in Formula 1 ultimately, and it's such a shame because he did not have a lot of backing going through the ranks, and once he got out, he had nobody there. But eventually Aston Martin picked him up, and I hope he gets a ride somewhere because he is a champion of Formula 2, and we usually see the champions get a ride. Theo Pourchaire, there's an exception for him. He's been in the sport for what, a million years? Yeah, no. Go on for Formula 1. Formula 1's not for you because that was a weak year in Formula 1 in my opinion. But he also ended up with Mick Schumacher. Mick Schumacher, he had his little stint with Haas for a couple of years, and he had Nikita Mazepin as a teammate, which he clearly dominated. Let's just be real here. Is that saying much? No. Nikita Mazepin sucked. And Mick Schumacher beating him, yes, it's impressive to beat your teammate very often, but if it's Nikita Mazepin, we're going to have something up top by your name, which is called an asterisk, because we're not going to look into it. So you fast forward a year, we had the little deal go on in the Eastern Hemisphere, and you know what I'm talking about, and Nikita Mazepin got the boot. And I think this actually worked out for Haas because they were wanting to move on from him at some point, and that did it for them right there. And they had a very narrow field to replace him. You had Filippati, you had Giovinazzi, and you also had Kevin Magnussen. They brought in Kevin Magnussen. And Magnussen impressed early on. He had some great outings and eventually got a pole in 2022 in Sao Paulo. Fast forward to 2023. It's just a grueling sport because we see the likes of Nico Hulkenberg taking over Mick Schumacher's seat. And Mick Schumacher goes to WEC racing for Alpine, but he's also with Mercedes and getting some time there. And then as the year goes on, he's looking more and more likely for a Williams ride in 2024 because of Logan Sargent's struggles, and that fell through. He is still with Mercedes. And then eventually, his hopes of Formula One are bashed, at least for in the Mercedes camp, because the likes of Kimi Antonelli comes onto the scene. And when that happened, that ruined Schumacher's chance of either being at Williams or Mercedes. So he had to make a business decision, in my opinion, and he left. And he went back to WEC full time. But yes, he's still in the Formula One picture, and he does have connections. And over the Miami Grand Prix race weekend, we saw the Cadillac launch event behind closed doors. But there's a photo out there, and it had Mick Schumacher in it. And he's obviously in talks. And we all know Cadillac is going to get Sergio Perez, a very good and sponsored driver. But it looks like, to an extent, they may bring in Mick Schumacher, someone who's had a stint in Formula One. And they feel like during his time at Haas, he wasn't had enough time to prove himself. And they think very highly of him, which, to an extent, I don't think highly of. I'm just being honest here. That's my opinion. But if he gets another chance at Formula One, this right here is going to be 10 times better than the Haas in 2022. Because the Haas in 2022 was actually, how can I give you an example right now? It's like, I don't want to diss Williams, but it's the Williams right now. At least for the first half of the year in 2022. Because Haas was scoring some points now. Don't let that fool you. They were getting, great results. But yeah, there you go there. Mick Schumacher going to Cadillac next year is a real possibility. Comment down below what you think. I'm going to buy into it. I really am, but I don't think he's going to do well. Comment down below.